also start moving around on the first two incidents security are patrolling the area, and you will be moved that will be in consideration for the local rivals and outstanding aircraft to start the first day and the next day of successful Royal Air Force heavy bombers in World War II. Legend was lived on through the work of the Battle of Britain Memorial Site, of course, the subject there, and I think this is the lovely they do to the country. Following on from the tail of Gazelle, the Lancaster, bringing that back on gas, came up to the first two from Lancaster, for the night of down the house. Truly majestic aircraft, and a quite remarkable one as well. Not very not far below that, still be going 1,500 miles. Impact this office, just looking at it, rugged, reliable, full of charisma, very, very popular with its team. As it is today in command of quite a said lady, probably of the media. Yeah, that's gaping. Bomb area there, just with the doors open. Huge expanse of space. Many aircraft lost on operations, well over 3,000 of them, and hundreds in various crashes and training accidents as well. Only two remaining now, this and this. So perhaps we're here lucky enough back in 2014 to have seen the only other surviving, well, flying Lancaster. There are other Lancasters, but the only other flying one based in Canada. Third in command today, just had a terrific time, mainly in the heavy fixed-wing roles, initially flying the C-130J Hercules and liner, but going on detachments with Iraq and Afghanistan. But also involved with heavy set on operation again. modified for Far East operations against the Japanese as part of the Tiger Group. First flown in this configuration in August 1945. Coming round now for its final pass, an opportunity to recall the motto of the Battle Group Memorial Site, Let's Together. In total, some 125,000 Americans served in Bournemouth March during World War II, but 72,000 of them became casualties, killed, or taken. In the Battle Group Memorial Site, shot down or made prisoners. Extraordinary efforts by them and the nation. Welcome the Firebirds. I think you're going to enjoy this. It's absolutely delightful demonstration. Let me... Going strong. So is Johnny, also still flying commercially as well. So this team flying Van's RV4 aircraft. They're super little aircraft, they're both comfortable, they're great aerobatically, but they're also brilliantly useful for touring as well, with room for a bit of baggage, and would make a good weekend break across on the continent. But ideally suited at the same time to this sort of aerobatic, very graceful manoeuvres. Really, really delightfully trained. Now you may remember many years ago a thing called the Fireflies, and you're not mistaken, because that was John Gowdy and Andy Durston who used to fly here through his probably at least 6 or 7 times. And now these guys decided to take that on as the early 2000s. A lot of other work in the Aerospace world, and took these on, and will be appearing again tonight in the night air as well. We'll drop in and out of the cockpit in a moment, and you'll get a feel for how the aerobatic shape performs as we listen in to Nigel. It's important basically for, of course, the really versatile aircraft to work for aerobatics. The flying just around about 2 meters of runway take off. So good enough to see from through around the continent, running around about 160 miles an hour. And a bit of room for the luggage. Well, this is a pull, plus 6 or minus 3 speed. These aircraft are amongst the world's most successful range of home-built, kit-built aircraft. Well over 10,000 of these in different variants deployed around the world. Sort of thing you can knock up in the back garden or in a easily sized garage and then ship it off to your local airfield to give it a spin. Good visibility. powered by 160 horsepower. Again, I say, just start to roll. John Dodd's there, right behind him, as close as possible. And they've almost two brains in one here. They live and breathe the activity, rehearse regularly, of course, very comfortable and confident in each other's ability. So repositioning now, they come in for another break, and we'll just drop back in and monitor that one around. And there you see how it is all controlled. Absolutely superb, very smoothly done, and all on that little tiny bit of command right again. Everybody does it exactly the same in the red arrows. You listen to that, exactly the same information. First star speed range up on this aircraft as well, between 50 and 200 miles an hour. And able to take off on very short runways as well. Just 300 to 400 meters is all that required. Modified, of course, for aerobatic work with spoke systems. And later on today, you'll see the other additions of wingtip pyrotechnics for their evening displays, as well as LED strips, which themselves are really, really terrific to watch. No inverted fuel systems on these though, so you've got to keep the positive G-loading on most of the time. You can do that, it sounds unusual when you're upside down, but if you're going through a loop, you can keep that G-load on as well, 2 rolls at the same time. Very important. Coming in now for another quarter clover, and pull up as if going into a loop, but they put a little twist in halfway through, and then just go out in the other direction. Okay, watch what they do. There's that little twist. Pull over the top now, checking over their heads with the horizon, and then it's a great repositioning move, allowing them to go out on another trajectory and direction. But the sun at least picking out the airframe. And there, commencing the Firebirds. So time to give your partner a thought or a squeeze, or just wish them all their best, and dedicate to your friends, family, or whatever. And again, pass it along. Well, I'm going to shut up now because it's time for you to tell us all about this unique little aircraft which has been servants to play and is running it right now. Over to you, Isabel.
Perfect. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Flying in towards you from the centre at nearly 200 miles an hour is the future display pilot, flight lieutenant Bob E. As he pulls up and over at 5 Gs, converts his speed into height to perform 30 loops.
What was that one?
The next two manoeuvres are the wing over and the ballistic roll, which will be used to be for the next Starling system. The ballistic rolls are flown towards you on the off bridge and away from you on the on bridge. When not displaying, Bob is a qualified flying instructor on Warner Whitewood base at RAF Woodbridge, where he trains future generation of Royal Air Force pilots, as well as converting frontline pilots into qualified flying instructors. During his air career, Bob amassed over 80,000 flying hours on 50 different aircraft flights. This represents almost a full year in the air. Positive 6 speed, meaning that the pilot is subjected to forces 6 times the center of gravity. Next we have another wing over, a combined 16 rolling manoeuvre which can flight past to 180 degrees. You'll notice that every wing over is slightly different as Bob carefully selects his flight path to reach position wing conditions and aircraft entry state. The Tutor is constructed of a carbon composite material and has 180 horsepower light only piston engine. Bob now rolls 90 degrees while pointing straight up before completing a stall turn at almost 0 airspeed. The 290 degree turns allow Bob to continue in the same direction. The Tutor is operated by No. 6 Flying Training School in partnership with Babcock International Group. And as I said before, this is primarily for University Air Force students and RAF Air Cadets. There are 13 air experience flights across the UK.
Operated by the 6 Flying Training School in partnership with Babcock International Group, primarily by University Air Force Cadets, RAF Cadets, 13 air experience flights across the UK, you can join the cadets yourself if you're between 12 and 17 years old. We are plenty out of there, great again. We're going to do another call soon. Here, see the wind drifting there, it's about 2.0. Really pleasant to go to the guys, watching all kinds of things. Such a long
Since 2022 to support this fantastic charity. The benevolent fund supports RAF personnel, air cadets and veterans whenever they are in need. And we're very proud to raise awareness for a charity that gives so much to the whole of the RAF family. You can visit our tent today, up on the road here, website, or do our future display research to access QR codes to donate to the benevolent fund today. Those of you that are considering university, as I said before, there are 15 university air schools across the UK, and 2 university air schools supported by the Tutor by highly experienced and flying instructors. Why not come and visit the Tutor stand and talk to the university air schools and students about their experiences today? They provide a huge opportunity for personal development, as well as a wide variety of events training in the UK and exhibitions across the globe. We are now in a higher ending section of the display with the Derrick, Corpus-Clover, and now the Loop, which is a quintessential aerobatic maneuver. As it pulls up, Bob is projecting 5G. He aims to fix the aircraft around an imaginary circle in the sky. Even when inverted, the centrifuge of forces keep it pressed into the sea. Today the Royal Air Force is recruiting for multiple rewarding
For full formation set at the speed of the service aircraft, and that's in this case being the Swordfish. But yes, we're cross features to have a photography down to see something very important. As the aircraft warning, you can hear one coming from the Michael Lucas containers to spread from water. Alongside the new modern helicopters as well. The reading from front. Wonderful Swordfish. Ladies and gentlemen, probably your meeting. Absolutely. Well, that's it for me.
Almost all ex-naval air crew, we haven't had the recently an RAF captain join us, but all got a good military background and feel proud really. So they all do almost Navy. I wasn't there doing Now, Tony, you're involved with Navy Wing. Tell us a bit about how that has sort of transformed and really taken very cool. Well, yes, originally the Royal Navy ran a very historic flight with forces in front of you and a couple of other assets. More recently, Navy Wings is their
is at Middle Wallop actually with Army Aviation. Well, yeah, Steve, it's great to have him in the cockpit as well. Hugely experienced guy. And the Wasp was a backbone of the PR for many, many years. Flying in the colours of H-Class Aurora flight, built in 1964, served various ships like, oh gosh, Nubian, Hecate, or is it Hecate, that's right, Aurora, Ajax as well, and really involved in a number of different roles. It's almost a multi-purpose aircraft, very similar to the Army Scout, the difference being that, of course, that all Navy helicopters and have wheels to enable extra maneuverability around the flight deck, but both sporting the same bulbous fuselage, which is designed very much around being able to put a sequence structure across rather than ventrate through the fuselage. So, and at times, of course, these aircraft would be painted for use in the counterbank role. Introduced back in service in 1964, the first generation jet engine helicopter built for the Royal Navy, based on an earlier Saunders Row concept, and also homegrown.
Uite, suntem la popor la Iași, am plictiseam. Hai, nu vreau atmosferă.
Hear that well in advance of the helicopter getting close. And as Steve departs off to the left-hand side, now keep your eyes open, look far to the right. You see this wonderful, historic site. One of the most venerable and precious aircraft, I think. And a great tribute to the engineers and American flight down the river. It's a fabulous course. Spaceships, but let's focus on this wonderful machine being starting a terrible course. From the prototype ferry PSRC, with the PO's offer reconnaissance, designed initially by LaBelle and sampling as the ferry aviation company, first flew in 1934, with service to Nation 57 in 1936. The 2,300 of these aircraft were built. That Pegasus engine we refer to was the cutting edge of technology back in 1934. But only managed to propel it at around 90 knots. So it's a stately machine, but it can keep going for quite a while. It's got long legs, hasn't it? Indeed, with a full tank of petrol, you should be going for over 5 hours if your body can take it. So it's quite a difficult experience in the cockpit. It is. Yeah, quite cold. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, when heavily laden, would it be even slower. There was a crew of 3, and you're talking about how difficult it is. Yes, there were no comfort, no heater. And no shelter, and they just had to take what was in front of them. And then the pilot had a seat. The crewman had to stand up. Yeah. You have to say that's a market. Many countries and many cities around London
are basically that's the BBMF threats and the back of the stand convoy rockets. Then the top of the water. This Pegasus engine on the front there considered cutting edge technology back in the mid-1930s. It's really only compared to the aircraft in the 70s and 90s. So it's likely they ended about 80 feet off with a 60 there.
Ever been fitted with those wave-hold rockets which we used to try and get it off the deck faster?
Not this one, because that would certainly convert the fuselage into paddles. And in fact, it's an interesting fact, the difference between the Mark I and the Mark II Swordfish is that the underwing on the Mark II Swordfish is metallized.
Right.
So they found that if they shot rockets off the Mark I, it would burn holes in the fabric.
Very sensible conversion, John. Very sensible indeed. Well, we mentioned the others. The observer navigators have set the cockpit using a stopwatch, compass, and quite a lot of intuition, as you described there, working your mental maps out. And the telegraphist air gunner, well, he isn't dead, he stood up facing the arms, didn't he? Because up there on the deck would have been a .303 Lewis gun, whilst operating the radios at the same time as well.
If I've been told that leaving here to take it home, the only thing you want to install is your foot. And remember, no barbecues are allowed on the site. The exception is Hey Andy, looks like coming into the left-hand side. Yes, way to go. Second aid on there, first of all. Huge welcome to the Black Cat.
Wildcat is what is referred to as HMA, a helicopter maritime attack helicopter based at the air station in Gilverton. And the UK's only dedicated maritime attack helicopter, armed with a range of weapon systems from snipers, 50-cal machine guns, torpedoes, artillery missiles, and venom missiles as well, giving it tremendous capability. Covering anti-surface, anti-drone, and anti-submarine operations. Drone today led in Black 1 by Lieutenant Michael Biggin, and alongside him as Wingman Black 2, Lieutenant Scotty Sunderland. I'd like to say a big hello to family members along with them, supporting them here today as well, Becca and Oscar from the Scottish family, and Megan and Olivia. Michael Williams right a huge welcome to you all. Lovely to see you here supporting the guys out there on operations. Of course, most of the military pilots queuing up their weekends to do this sort of work as well. They're, I can assure you, fully occupied during the course of the week. Responsible for training Wildcat pilots and observers and looking after the flights on board Royal Navy frigates and destroyers around the world. Remember, they're detached squadrons, very different operating in different ways from other Army and Royal Air Force squadrons. The whole thing comprising 85 Naval Air Squadron alongside 815 Naval Air Squadron, but also Wildcat simulators and headquarters, engineers and aircraft, supporting the full Royal Navy Wildcat operation at home and anywhere else in the world. Through their pirouettes now here, whilst they remain stable, but they will be climbing upwards at the same time. Again, all these professionals making it look so straightforward and simple, but actually tricky manoeuvre this. Luckily, no strong winds to upset us today though. Scotty joined the Navy in 2010, joint entry, had all sorts of experience in the Middle East and as a pilot on HMS Dragon. He's involved in seizing more than £145 million worth of drugs, a record for a UK warship. And they specialise, unsurprisingly, in maritime counter-terrorism and interdiction work before then coming back to Spain and what will be his successors, basically. It's new with them. Viv joined in February 2013, also gone through extensive tours in the Middle East and security operations in Oman from HMS Kent and force protection for the Queen Elizabeth carrier when based on HMS Defender. It was also the first flight to deploy with the Barclays missile. Now for the closing stages of their display. Give you a little nod here and then cross each other once more before their finale. And there they go. Now reverse their position before running back in for the striking line. The first man comes to stick with its north-Atlantic helicopter as he controls the road ahead. It's very different from that operating in an elevator on an aircraft, although looking in reality much the same. Coming back in close formation, once again, not something that comes easy. Years and years of practice going into this sort of work. Give them a massive wave send-off from this fabulous Bournemouth Air Festival here as we all hop around in the hornpipe. What's about to see an historic Hurricane Mark 1 and a Mark 5 Spitfire. What a sight that is. Absolutely wonderful. Defining so much that is great in the history of this nation, of course. Two unique designs, two incredibly successful developments as well. A combination of R.J. Mitchell and Sidney Can in their respective workshops. R.J. Mitchell and Tutor, of course, responsible for one of the most famous designs. But in terms of success and bearing the brunt of combat operations in the early phases of the war, the Hurricane was the man and the beast that was available to protect UK during those difficult days of 1940. Those are incredible success stories. The Spitfire produced well in excess of 20,000. Developed from mid-1930s onwards into Royal Air Force. See their individual performances. And there we have it. Quite magnificent sight. Mark eases out to the right hand side. Chance for Gazelle now to pitch in, coming in, using that height, using that energy to build up some speed. What a beautiful sound.
Spitfire Mark 5, powered by that beautiful sounding Rolls-Royce Merlin 46 engine, built in 1942, the 11th of September. Mark 5 BB602 was built by Western and Yeovil, Somerset.
Of course, Mark, a familiar name in the circles of aviation. Going up with Warbirds. He cut his teeth with 20 years of flying with the Aerostars and 6th formation aerobatic team flying Russian Yak-50 aircraft for demonstrations all over Europe. And then transferring his skills into other Warbirds and fly the T-51 Mustang in Florida a few years ago, and now performing other demonstrations flying the legendary Spitfire for ultimate Warbird flight based at Tywell Airfield in Northampton.
As we said, that Rolls-Royce Merlin 46 engine produces 1400 brake horsepower at 3000 RPM, giving it 16 pounds of throwing boost at 14,000 feet. Really incredible for 1942.
And without putting up steeply, of course, although that looks dramatic, it is, of course, actually it's almost greeting the airliner above it. Quite terrific stuff indeed. Taking the skies capturing our imagination for the phenomenal success. So we could have an opportunity for some solo Spitfire flying.
TV602, flying for us today, started out with 66 Squadron, which was the second Spitfire squadron to come into existence and fourth in the Battle of Britain. We then went to 129 Squadron in recognition of the large sums of money that the Indian government raised through the sale of war bonds. Some squadrons were then named after Indian provinces, and 129 was named Mysore Squadron. The final squadron was 453, Royal Australian.
Flying today, Gabriel Barton, solos very early on, gliding at the age of 16, TPL at 17. Number 6 picking back to 16 flying, joining the airline Go as first officer back in 1990. Moved into EasyJet. But I'm here to checking in. We're not sure quite yet whether they've been given anything to display. But just a reminder, coming after that is Richard Goodwin in the big special. Now, of course, now re-engineered and re-engined with a pair of 300 horsepower jet engines like they little. But here, from the left-hand side, please welcome Tom Cattell, the Michael Biggin, the Starlings. These absolute consummate professionals, an outstanding pedigree of championship aerobatic flying between the two of them. You need to keep your eyes peeled to follow these guys around the sky. We'll put this together in 2021 and have scored huge successes around the whole of UK and Europe. Those former British aerobatic champions, Michael Biggin, forming what will become, after this initial formation pairs display period, a session of high octane aerobatic gyroscopic company. Both have a combined aerobatic experience well over 50 years in air shows and competitions, and have flown all over the world as solo acts and as part of other formations. You see coming in with their familiar sky typing or sky writing burst smoke trails. This is deployed using an additional smoke machine, and very clever it is too, enabling you to do all sorts of different graphics in the sky. This time they just keep it going whilst absolutely Michael being glued to the tail of Tom. First half is essentially a demonstration of formation aerobatics, opposition manoeuvres, and some great photographic opportunities. Flying the outstanding extra NG, capable of unlimited aerobatics, and rolls weights in excess of 420 degrees per second, plus or minus 10. Tom spent a bit of time in the army, flying around in all sorts of other aircraft before gaining his CPL back in the early 80s. Since then he's flown around 40 different types, accumulating well in excess of 7,000 hours experience. Introduced to aerobatics by the late Pete Clark, and never looked back. Flying Pete's Tennessee Fireflies for many years. He won his first contest at Brayton that same year. Then went on to win the Tiger Trophy at the standard level, before then moving on with the use of a Glyn 50. He won the 1995 UK Advanced Level Championship. can go flying in the aircraft. Many tours of display pilots in the spare time, giving passenger opportunities. Biggin cruise around about 200 knots, which is pretty slim. Actually 220 by 80 engines. Again, very popular, very rugged and reliable power plant. Tom went on to win many other competitions in the Cat 232 we owned, and also picked up the Article Trophy back in 1998 as well, winning the United Limited National Champion 3 times. And there is Tom just calling the brake. And a terrific rip-roaring experience that is. Now they're going into a bit of individual opposition classes. Hanging on the props there as they go up, letting the aircraft hang before putting in the scorpion turn. Again, you know how to do that, put in the boots in another. Quick roll on the way down. And another slick, low-level, high-speed pass. Again, this time pulling it over their backs rather than legs, the weight of the engine, rocking onto them, always maintaining full control with all changes. Just a couple of months ago, we just learned so much from this guy. Much younger, of course, Michael Pittman alongside him there. Started flying at a very young age, inspired by his father, winning his first aerobatic competition at just 14 years old. Sitting now for the Starlings half. Don't worry about it. You know, it looks like it was getting into a of course, all perfectly controlled. And I said earlier when we were talking about the likes of these guys and British Goodwin, it takes a huge amount of training being able to control these. Just look out of control, making sure it's not. But there's a lot of work going on with hand speed in the cockpit, and of course it takes a toll on the body as well. It's not something you can just pick up and do. You have to train for it. Muscle tone, obviously anticipation, and going through variations of use of custom namers over a very, very short period is very, very wearing on the body, letting it almost slide across there for a moment and then tumbling tail over engine. It's a little bit of an inversion there, just hanging in the straps while he held it there and then letting the speed build up again. Little bit of drift, little bit of slide, flattening it out there, letting it into the spin, controlling it again, down and down and down. Absolutely no issue at all for these guys. There's a good opportunity, just noting the rate of play, the youngest unlimited level aerobatic pilot in Europe. He's performed all over the world as a fellow display pilot and part of the formation aerobatic team, passionate about this design as well. But also, don't do Bob in his spare time flying as a commercial pilot of the Boeing 75 and 762 aircraft types, and involved in a bit of Spitfire flying. Sounds like the ideal life anyway, so absolutely superb getting your hands on it. great smoke system that. It's really unique. You should see it when they're getting out in team military control. These guys at this level, they of course have a box of tricks in their head, a whole series of different maneuvers they're capable of, and they're literally adjusted as they go along. They have a broad plan of how it's going to be, but when you're at this advanced level, you can just package it together and just adjust. Luckily, not much of a wind here, so we had a bit of a drift over the course of the show yesterday. This one absolutely superb day, very flat sky, very flat air. I know, snap that G commander, that is really harsh, but it looks quite benign, doesn't it? I can assure you the forces going on inside the aircraft and what it's feeling like is a lot of stresses and strains, and of course that is what you've got to train for. Aircraft can take so much, it's the body that needs to work hard. Oh, beautiful maneuver. Driving it in and squaring off the top of that slide. Taking the brake now. You can hear him chatting, rolling now. Tom takes up the inverted position. He's going to fly all the way down the fly line, hanging in the track. Michael's handling really tight behind him. How neat is that? If you can't get to say a great deal doing, it's just best to sit back and suck in the awesome power of this remarkable machine. We're expecting it from the right-hand side. It's coming in. We're in sight now. Doing around about just 600 miles an hour. It's turbo in the water. It's Typhoon. We've got a speed limit of 600 miles an hour on the coastline of UK, but really putting his first 90 turn now there, he's pinned into the speed, but actually very comfortable. It's a nice little office up the front end, you can't hear the noise at all. But just look at the agility of it. Here with this generation of fighters, using far less airspace compared with later on when we see the vintage jet. Often affectionately referred to as Barton Becky as well. Just keeping control. Keep an eye on those sort of canards at the front end as well. They'll be switching away during the course of some of the flights on the road we see here today. chance, make sure you get to the village later on during the course of the day or over the weekend and talk to the guys that service this. Of course, the one pilot machine comes with a whole backup of engineering and technical staff to keep it in the lovely slow roll now from survey. Surprisingly flexible across the speed spectrum. Effortlessly rolling it through the sky, all the manoeuvres you would expect of a frontline high-performance fast-jet pilot. But bringing the stick way back now, bringing the speed back, we're talking about 120 knots, that is all. It's what we call a high alpha position, where it's just before an aircraft would stall, but pretty much impossible to do that with the electronic help on board. And just before the airflow breaks away from the upper side of the wing surfaces, you feel the reheat coming on, and once again, here we go. To Royal Air Force Mine Pleasant in the Falkland Islands. We're joining 29 Squadron with the CFI. Most of the week converting new pilots and preparing them to operate the aircraft at the full swing roll capability. And also, of course, don't forget that all the Typhoon pilots have autonomy on operations as well, making sure their primary task is defending the so that he continues to breathe normally. Get such a set of maneuvers in a very, very small piece of airplane. Great tribute to the aircraft designer. Coming straight in at you now, likely to pull up with a lot of power. Head in. A long way into the sky. This is Turbo, the Typhoon. Right-hand side, you'll see a little aircraft, but it packs a real punch, this one, because it's not got a meaty, great piston engine in the front, but it's also got two little jet engines. Smoke coming on now. He's just adjusting his fly line, and then making use of the fuselage. It's nice position, traditional With those jets on board, you can literally hover in the sky. But you'll get everything here: wheelers, pit wheels, hammerheads, long tracks, the whole bag of unlimited aero graphics, all within a very small space. So this is a really beautiful aircraft. It's essentially based on the Pitch SWF, so you can use large, but got a lot of tried and tested modifications on different things. The wing design is absolutely unique, and it's also got massive ailerons on this, giving more wing area, giving a phenomenal roll rate, but also better low-speed handling as well. Still uses quite a bit of energy management as well, using every bit of altitude to actually speed, giving a greater opportunity on the upward trajectory to put in a whopping series of maneuvers you're going to see right now. So we roll right, left and right, and all as a result of that extra power. Going upside down now, you can get a rudder here to do a turn, hanging in his straps. And in fact, he's not just hanging in, he's ratcheting in, such as the violent maneuver during the course of this display, that any other normal straps would actually work their way through. So just withstanding a fair amount of negative G gas, comes around, what is extraordinary again about this display is the sheer pace at which he switches from positive and negative G. Mind you, it was designed then for specifically to compete in major aerodynamic competitions. Moving forward by an extraordinary lady synthetic skeleton as well, with a little sinker aircraft. That's hanging upside down in the Smithsonian across the other side of the pond there in Dallas Airport in the extra hangar in Washington DC, and well, this just went on for years, and this is now essentially taking us back and reminding us of all the tremendous things special teams that we had in the UK in the late 60s and 70s. Just doing tremendous things. Now this looks like a normal one, but it isn't. It's not something you can buy off the shelf. Absolutely impossible. It's a modification program. Right at the heart there, I said it's got a lot of power. Without the jet, it's got an 8.5 litre Lycoming 540 engine, 6 cylinders, equipped also with a massive smoke system as well. And all gears being removed, the engine mount modified from a Hanging front gear length and aircraft in the sky. Designed by a guy called Biggin back in the late 40s and famous by all sorts of aviators. Dennis Skelton, one of them, was a thinker. Is notable in many ways. So I'm loving that, just kicking it over, not a super turn, but a complete sort of digital maneuver there, and spinning it on its side. Absolutely fly, which it is capable of flying. Yeah, hates going in a straight line, this guy. Just loves to throw in a few extra foot rolls, tumbles, and using every bit of the power that he's got at hand. Now, in fact, one big engine isn't big enough. Each of the jet turbines, if you look carefully, you can see them on the side of the fuselage, and just behind one engine, almost up to the cockpit. They add another 350 pounds of thrust each to the power of the aircraft, and that's what gives him the ability to hover, just like a Hangar. Slowing the aircraft down, he needs to just catch his breath or to check the engine CVT, very important, checking the aircraft, nothing else is untoward before going into the next set of high energy maneuvers. Real snap positive speed there coming on, that's the hard thing. Kicking the turbine engines in now, keep your eyes on it as he literally goes up into the hover. Yeah, literally hanging on the propeller and power of those additional jet engines there. go forward, dropping the nose, and now using the energy of the downward trajectory rather than the jet to go into the next hill. Two completely different fuel systems, of course, on board to do this as well, enabling him to literally hang in the sky. They're a little bit stopping now, letting the prop essentially take over. And that's what's bringing the airframe round in a counter rotation. Holding on there, just stay completely on that. He loves every minute of it though, where his dad was a well-known hunter display pilot in the Royal Air Force, so he grew up with aviation in his DNA. Before moving on to his famous G-Wiz aircraft, the one that the Union Jack wanted before building this up to his base in Gloucester and getting his jet engine certified. Taking a long time, many years to get it to this level. All under control. It takes you years to get to this level of unlimited standard. And once again, all environmentally sound boats being used, which is good news for all of us. And now today we're going into this is the Christmas tree. This is the Christmas tree.
So as you'll see, he'll be climbing now, he's trying to come to a point at the top of the tree, where he can change the star at the top of the tree. So people are trying to eventually come to a halt at the top. Not easy to do, but it is possible.
Well, the Bournemouth Air Festival has seen many firsts, and this is yet another. I certainly haven't seen it yet, and it's going up and up and up, and yeah, it's really, it could be a Christmas tree, it could be an ice cream cone, couldn't it?
It can, but then we have a little trick for you. Now we can render a spiral dive downwards and create the stalk or the trunk of the Christmas tree.
Ah, okay, now that is different. This is a long spin as well. Oh, clever stuff. Outstanding work indeed.
And there you have it, a Christmas tree for August.
Well, I bet he doesn't know what planet his head is on at the moment. Absolutely terrific. Well done, Richard. Coming on now, this is a rival feature. You'll see those if you're near the middle, and you can see the differences in colours between all these aircraft. Just going through their first break to start. The helicopter itself was designed by Aerospace in the south of France in the late 1960s. It's actually a 5-seat aircraft, although I must say it is a little bit like I spent many hours in these helicopters myself. It's used by all sea services for pilot training, battlefield observations, light transport, reconnaissance, and in the case of the Britannia, also uses their observation system. So that was an operation directing artillery fire onto enemy positions. Got a distinctive sound and a distinctive design as well, because the Gazelle was the first helicopter to feature that distinctive ducted fantail rotor, that's known as the fenestron. The linguists amongst you may well recognise that as the for windows based on the term fenestron. So there you go. Gazelle then is a 40 aircraft, actually really nice little four-star in the rotary world, very nimble, very agile, and fun to fly, good serviceability as well. Max speed of 160 miles an hour, well, that's what you fly around the cruising, you can get it up to 193, but you rarely go that way, but it still holds the record as the fastest single engine helicopter manufactured to date. Of course, the linked twin engine has been fastest speed. And design-wise, George, what's the benefit to that fenestron tail? I'll come back to that in a few moments. So it's a neat design. One of the biggest things, of course, is safety. Actually safety, because just having a bare tail rotor you know, the number of isotopes. But also the aerodynamics, getting rid of the fuselage aerodynamic flares, things like that. There's a number of little significant little aids in addition, but it is certainly a safer tail to be wandering around than any other. The team, they're operating from Langley's airfield, they're one team. Predominantly made up of ex-Army Air Corps, Royal Marine and Royal Navy pilots, but very lucky to have a volunteer team down on the ground as well. They come to us thanks to the General Officer of the Falcon Aviation and in immaculate we've got Andrew Copley using the Merlin 1 for an Air Force aircraft. Alongside him there's Royce on the VIP version in white and grey, and Andy Usher bringing up as number 4. The ex-SWAHF Gazelle, formerly an HP3 from Shorebridge, also used by 27 Squadron Chinooks. And the reason they used it was for daytime reconnaissance runs and low-level nav routes, which was doing the just in the last couple of years. Reformating now back into echelon left. Slide down point during the course of this pass, number 4, and the asset will break away into the There goes Andy. That'll turn, that'll be followed by a wing over. And as they reposition, in grey leading the 3 Gazelles on our right hand side. Andy will reposition. This Navy red and white Gazelle is on the left hand side. Pretty interesting photographic opportunity coming up now. Right to the middle of the formation. You've got a fling wing on the top of your machine there, not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So what's required now is for number 4 You can follow these guys, by the way, on Twitter, Insta and Facebook. back when they started, they all had individual names for the aircraft. Ginger and Gordon and things were familiar names early in the year, but now they're just configured in their type representing the different services that you supply. And we're able to do the normal Rolls-Royce there, but we've got a substitute Mark 9 alongside the Mark 19. Things like Merlin formation. People remember this day from BBMF line and as now the head of the auto purchase line. I'll just take a moment and just setting this wonderful site down. Great creation of our team and team of Super Marine. See the land star and panache. And the lift will win. Really powerful Mark 19 Rolls-Royce Spitfire coming out of the port of the sunshine. Let's just enjoy the pair before they split into individual systems. State very casually calling for the brink. He'll just meander off to hold, allowing Disco to still the thunder for a moment to go flying in the dark mountains. Of course, Royce involved for a number of very good reasons, not just connections, obvious connections really with the Merlin engine, but also to commemorate the past work of the company and many brave pilots who flew the aircraft. The lovely topside pass there from Biggin. So Mark 179 built a Supermarine in Southampton, high altitude reconnaissance aircraft. Still active service during the Second World War, after some high ascension before going on deploying in Belgium and Holland. He remained on duty in Germany right up until March 1946. Distinctive growl there, very different from the Merlin because that's a Rolls-Royce Griffin 66, 12-cylinder, 36-litre engine. Capable of a max speed of 445 miles an hour and a ceiling of 42,000 feet. Pinnacle of development of that original design back in the 30s of R.J. Mitchell's stable. Top end, the pinnacle of that Supermarine epic. She's in a remarkably similar space. Twice the power of the original. The engine itself is designed at a surprisingly earlier stage as Joe Smith took on the team at Supermarine, adapting it mainly to get an engine capable of generating good power and low altitude. Several other Mark 19 Spitfires for conversion to the temperature engineering of the upper air nappy. forming the very last sortie for that particular role in June 1957. Then alongside two other Mark 19s was retired into turn only and into slave use, forming what was then known as the Royal Air Force's historic site, the predecessor, of course, of today's Battle of Britain Memorial. Very much an ambassador now for Royal Air Force, for Royce, carrying out a number of displays, national events, corporate functions. Really representing the heritage of the Spitfire and engines that were developed, and of course an opportunity also to remember one of the very first air displays of this country, featuring the name Rolls. It's just along the beach there in Typhoon in 1970, where sadly Charles Rolls lost his life. Typhoon to the Spitfire. The Squadron operational record was recorded in conversion and the movements that said pilots and then kit were flown by the Tutor and the Bolton, where Joint Fighter Command number 11 was converted to the Squadron. Still using from Sony by ATA. The conversion took 2 months and the Squadron returned to bench waters. 243 Squadron, part of the Wing 24 Squadron, led by legendary Battle of the Ace and later the famous 10th pilot, Wing Commander Roland Sony. .234 Squadron flew the 1945 Battle of Britain Temerarious flight over London in September, and it's very possible that the Spirit of Kent is one of the aircraft taken. The Northwest Heritage Fund, 1 Spitfire, 1926. Take it in. Instead of quantity, practicality and efficiency, watching through the Swedish force over many years. Running in now. You can right to the right hand side of the two of these amazing jets in this morning. A massive welcome here from the Bournemouth Air Festival to the Swedish Air Force historic But nonetheless, there are a bunch of enthusiasts, visibly, for putting a huge amount of investment into keeping these aircraft on the road since back in 1997, when the members steadily increased in number and managed by, believe it or not, the Swedish Transport Agency, but on a voluntary basis by pilots and technicians that used to run these aircraft on an operational basis. So they've got some interesting names. Now, the Draken is a pretty straightforward definition, meaning very much something like a kite or a dragon. But the Viggen, we've been having a chat about that. Now, I naturally assumed that was just a literal translation of what is effectively a thunderbolt. But my Oppo wingman here, Andy, thinks otherwise. You need double vector on the Draken there with any wing angle of degrees for high speed performance with the outer wing is better than 60 degrees for better performance at both speeds. Held by based on the Rolls-Royce Open engine. Revolutionary in its time. For decades, but very much not just focusing on high technology, but also on quantity, but equally practicality and efficiency. The practicality being the need and the requirement to operate off short strips, and we're talking like 500 meters of tarmac road, but at the same time being easily maintained, so not requiring a massive support. And for this class and size of jet, that's actually not much of a runway. I think we're coming up for the break now, so photographers stand by. There we go. well measured voice, which results in a very large turn radius and a low rate of burn. The ability to fly that one. And of course that's just to ensure you don't lose your hearing or the showcase command or so. One of the unique characteristics also suggests the very design for configuration. February 1967. Always surprisingly early. With a thrust reverser integrated into the fuselage. Powered by a Volvo stick motor, afterburn turbofan. A licensed built version of the Civil Pratt & Whitney JDXD. Total of 337 of these are made. Incredibly sedate compared to a Typhoon, doesn't it?
understood. So is that raw that heat will depart as well? I would imagine if they kept the burner on to make that display, it might have been mainly over the Isle of Wight and the rest of Dorset very quickly. Yeah, and yes.
On the right-hand side, let's welcome once again Turbo in the Royal Air Force Typhoon.
Heat coming on again. Big G pulls directly vertical. Get a shot of that.